One of the most lasting and damaging effects of Wall Street's 2008 financial crime is that towns and cities across America are filled with millions of underwater mortgages. The effect of underwater mortgages on cities is disastrous. A recent investigation by a pair of Princeton and University of Chicago scholars reported on in the Washington Post found that in zip codes where more than 50% of homeowners were underwater, borrowers cut back 5 times as much, spending 2.5 cents less on car purchases for each dollar of reduced housing spending. Unable to make ends meet and pay off their mortgages at the same time, many underwater homeowners end up joining the ranks of the more than 5 million Americans who have been forced out of their homes by banksters. But there may be light at the end of the tunnel. On Monday, the Bay Area city of Richmond, California, sent a letter to 32 banks announcing a tentative plan to buy out the debt of the more than 600 of its residents' mortgages. Using its powers of eminent domain, a power provided under the Fifth Amendment to take private land and use it for a public purpose, the city would give 624 families and individuals struggling to make their mortgage payments new and more affordable loans. Here's how the plan would work. Say a homeowner has a $200,000 mortgage on a house that's now only worth $100,000. Under the rules of eminent domain, the Constitution requires that when the home is taken, there be a reimbursement at market value. So the city would take the home and offer $100,000 minus 20 grand for fees and costs associated with the process and write a check to the bank that held the mortgage for $80,000. The bank would write off their $120,000 loss on the deal, and both the tax code and a number of federal banking programs would protect the bank so they don't lose money. All the bank loses is the profit it would have made if it continued to hold the mortgage. The city of Richmond would then offer the homeowner their home back with a new $80,000 mortgage. The homeowner has gone from $20,000 in debt to $80,000 in debt, with a $100,000 asset now in their home. The city now has one less home in danger of foreclosure, a more stable and realistic tax base, the bank is fine, and the homeowner can begin building retirement equity as they pay off the mortgage over the years. Everybody wins. Even better news, Richmond is not the only city trying to rescue its homeowners. Officials in North Las Vegas, Nevada, El Monte, California, and La Puente, California, all cities in the heart of the Sun Belt states hardest hit by the housing crisis, are also considering plans similar to Richmond's, as they should. According to a study from the Alliance for a Just Society, a principal reduction program could produce annual average savings of $7,710 per underwater homeowner nationwide, boost the economy to the tune of $101.7 billion, and create 1.7 million jobs. In Richmond alone, supporters of principal reduction say that if that city's 4,600 underwater mortgages were reset to the home's current market value and current interest rates, the homeowners would save an average of $1,180 a month on mortgage payments. This not only keeps homeowners in their homes, it lets them spend money on other things, which stimulates the economy for everybody. But as usual, the biggest obstacle to cities that want to help struggling homeowners is Wall Street. The big banks say that any plan to use eminent domain to buy up underwater mortgages is a grave violation of property rights. Mortgage giant Wells Fargo says that we believe this approach will harm mortgage investors, the housing market, and the communities and borrowers that its proponents claim they would be helping. In other words, it's a threat to their bottom line and their big bonuses for their CEO. However, big banks aren't just talking about fighting principal reduction plans, they're actively sabotaging them. For example, San Bernardino County, California was forced to abandon their own eminent domain buyout plan last year after fierce lobbying by the financial industry. And as pointed out in The Nation magazine, 3 pro-Wall Street Republican congressmen from California sent a letter to Housing and Urban Development Secretary Sean Donovan on behalf of the industry asking HUD to deny financing from mortgages taken by eminent domain. Wall Street may be powerful, but cities like Richmond should ignore their lies and their lobbyists. We need to regrow the economy from the bottom up. And one of the best ways to do that is to move that money going to banksters and put it back into the pockets of middle-class families. While Republicans in Washington will block any plan that will make a dent in their Wall Street buddies' profits, cities and counties have the constitutional power and authority to make a real change in the lives of millions of hardworking American families by using eminent domain powers to push through principal reduction. So Richmond's plan, turns out, isn't just a model for one California city. It's a model for the entire country. Let's hope they succeed.